The name, Dr. Richard Kimball. The destination, Death Row State Prison. The irony, Richard Kimball is innocent. Proved guilty, what Richard Kimball could not prove was that moments before discovering his murdered wife's body, he saw a one-armed man running from the vicinity of his home. Richard Kimball ponders his fate as he looks at the world for the last time and sees only darkness. But in that darkness, fate moves its huge hand.
The Fugitive. A QM production, starring David Jansen as The Fugitive, with guest stars Jack Weston, Bert Brinkerhoff, and special guest star Glenda Farrell, also starring Barry Morse as Lieutenant Gerard. Tonight's episode, Fatso.
With a stranger, a friendly stranger. But a fugitive can't afford the luxury of friendship. He has to keep his thoughts to himself, weigh every word carefully.
That's right. Excuse me. I got about 4 hours sleep last night. Hey, how about you driving for a while?
I lost my wallet. I'm sorry. I don't have a license.
Yeah. Haven't seen a cop for hours.
I'm the cautious type. Maybe I better drive.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Drive carefully. Do everything carefully, from the moment you wake till you go to sleep at night, if you have a place to sleep. One false move, one little quirk of fate.
Well, it wasn't your fault. It was that darn fool backing out of there. There he goes. Hey! Well, could have been worse. Just bashed in the tail light, crumpled his fender, and locked bumpers. I guess we'll have to get some help from the garage. The frame don't seem to be bent.
You! Hold it! All right, now. Just where do you think you're going? Just trying to find a gas station, get some help.
Oh.
What's that?
Here's the accident report, Neil. Owner of the car signed it before he pulled out.
Okay. Drive over to headquarters and get these prints off.
State police?
Yeah, and the FBI. All right, Carter. Anybody you want to phone?
No.
All right, let's go.
How long before they know it's Kimball, not Carter? 12 hours? 10 hours? 6 hours?
Go on. to wake him. He's a noisy little fella.
Hey!
Quiet!
Come on, let me out. You said you would. You gave me your word. You promised. I bet that bus left already. What time is it?
6. You could have been on the afternoon bus if you'd been sober enough. Your bus leaves at 11:30 and you'll be on it if you keep quiet till then. Now, I'll be back and let you out before you know it. So go on and sleep it off. Fatso.
I want to get out now. There's no use going back. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see a big, fat slob. Hey, you haven't got a candy bar on you, have you?
No, I'm sorry.
It's too bad.
My name's Bill Carter.
Hi, Bill. I'm Davy Lambert. You know, they starve you to death in here.
Well, at least we won't be starved for company, huh? Oh, now, Dillinger, I was having such a nice rest. I thought you had better manners than that. I think I know what you want. Is this what you want, Dillinger? Good kitty cat.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's a stream on the farm that's just loaded with fish. Little itsy fish, but boy, did they taste good. You fry them plain with just a dab of butter. No flour, no cornmeal, nothing. Boy, it's been over 8 years since I've been there, but I can close my eyes and I can taste them now.
That's it, folks. This is WWNA signing off. In 15 seconds, it will be exactly 11:30.
You like the fish, Bill?
Oh, yeah, I like to fish, David.
Wish I could ask you to come home with me, but like I said, I'm only going to touch base and I don't know, I might not even go back at all. No use going back when they don't want me.
Well, all those nice things you said about your mother, you mean she doesn't want you?
Yeah, she does.
Well, you said your father was a sick man.
Well, maybe. Maybe she just wrote that letter so she'd be sure I'd come back.
Okay, Davy, you've been a real good boy. Come along now.
Well, so long, Bill.
You stay there, Connor. Goodbye, David. Come along, Davy. I'm putting you on that bus myself.
Hey, wait a minute, Bill. You gotta take me with you.
Stay out of it, Davy.
No, I'm going with you.
Hello? Hello, Pikesville Sheriff?
Yes.
This is Lieutenant Gerard. I just got a make from the FBI on the man you're holding under the name of William Carter.
I got the report too, Lieutenant, and I'll do everything I can to help. But he broke out last night.
What time?
About 11:30.
Do you have any leads?
A Model A was stolen near the edge of town.
He broke out. Nothing else?
That's about it.
I'll get the next plane. See you in 3 or 4 hours. Goodbye.
Bill, wait till you see our place. You couldn't find a better place to hide.
Davy, when they arrested you, did you say anything about where you lived?
I told you, they didn't ask me. They just told me to sober up and get out of town. Yeah, but I know you. You're looking for a reason to split up.
No, it isn't that, David.
Oh, why would anyone buddy up with big, fat, stupid slob like me?
Maybe because I like big, fat, stupid slobs. What's the matter?
Every time I think of where we stashed that Model A, I gotta laugh. They'll never find it.
Well, Lieutenant, I sure hate to see someone claim it with a little fixing I could use around here.
Whoever dumped her there sure picked a good place. It's a dead lake. Nobody ever uses it.
Anybody see who ditched it there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a fellow in a gang working on railroad ties. He spotted it.
Railroad gang, huh? Are the tracks near the lake?
Oh, yeah, they go right by it.
Any sightings there? Anywhere a man could hop a freight?
Oh, yeah, the freight yard's about a half mile down.
Well, maybe I can pick up something there. Thanks.
Yeah, anytime. Anytime at all.
This is really beautiful, David. All this part of the Lambert Ranch?
Yeah. House is on over.
Why didn't you tell me?
Tell you what?
Well, I didn't expect all this.
Didn't?
How big is it?
I don't know. I mean, not exactly. I used to, but I forgot.
Something wrong, David?
Huh? No. I'd like a drink, Bill. Let's go to town and have a drink.
What do you want to drink? You afraid of something?
No, I'm not afraid. I just want a drink, that's all. It was all different then. All different.
What was, David?
Nothing, Bill. Nothing. I'm sorry.
Well, look who's back.
Hi, Frank.
What are you doing here, Davy?
Mom wrote that Pop was sick.
How would she know where to write you?
Well, there's a bar in Los Angeles that lets me use its address. Last time I was there was a letter from Mom.
It's funny she didn't tell us you were coming. Or did you ask her not to, Davy?
I didn't write. I just got here as fast as I could. Bill? Bill, this is my brother, Frank.
How do you do?
Bill and I work together in Los Angeles. He's gonna stay for a while. Okay?
That's a silly question, Davy boy. You know he's going to be just as welcome here as you are.
How's Pop?
Wasn't feeling too bad this morning. That's not saying how he's going to feel when you walk in on him. How do you like that new barn, Davy boy? It's got it all over the old one, hasn't it? What's the matter, Brother David? Don't you feel so good?
No, I'm feeling all right.
Hop in, Mr. Carter. You too, Davy boy, if you can make it. What do you think of this part of the country?
All right.
Come on, Brother David, up and over.
Davy!
Hello, Mom.
Oh, Davy! Oh, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Mom. Real good.
Oh, I've been so worried about you. Have you been all right?
Oh, I've been doing fine. Real great.
Oh.
This is my friend Bill, Mom. I bumped into him on the way out here, and I feel so I knew him all my life.
I'm glad to know you, Mrs. Lyman.
How do you do, Bill? I'm glad to know you, too.
I thought you said you'd work together, Davy.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. But you see, I left that job.
Oh, who says prayer doesn't work? I prayed so hard, Davy, you just had to come home. Come on, let's all go in the house, huh? Davy, you'll find your room just the way it was when you left. I kept your clothes all cleaned and pressed and hanging up for you.
Thanks, Mom.
Make yourself at home, Mr. Carter.
Gee, Mom, the place looks great. Mom? Does Pop know you asked me to come?
No, Davy. I don't believe I mentioned it.
Davy looks good, doesn't he, Ma?
Yes, he does.
Why, when I drove up, I hardly recognized you, Davy. Lost quite a bit of weight, haven't you, boy?
Frank.
Oh, no, Ma. I'm not kidding. Well, I mean it. Davy, boy, you're really in the pink. Mm-hmm.
Bill, will you excuse us, please? Davy, we'll go tell your father you're here now. We won't be long. Frank, come on.
Yeah, in the pink. In the pink. Just like before. Pink.
I had one with you, David.
Yeah, sure, Bill.
After you seen your father?
Hey, Bill. But you come with me, won't you, please?
You ought to see him alone first, eh?
No. When I go in there, I want you to come with me. Please, Bill, please.
Okay. I'll come with you.
All right, you can come in, Davy.
Hello, Pop. I'd have come back a long time ago, but I wrote a couple of times, Pop. I guess you got my letters. I don't know what to say, Pop.
Please, David, please.
This is Bill, Pop. We're friends. We've been traveling together.
Hello.
I'm sorry to see that you're sick, Pop. You do what old Doc Hallam's tells you to do. He'll fix you up.
I think your father's tired, Davy. He'd better get some sleep now.
Davy.
Yeah, Pop.
How
How do you like the newborn?
Want butter apple?
Huh? No, I just had breakfast, remember?
Good for you. Vitamins.
David. How old were you the first time Frank called you fatso?
Look, I never ask you any questions. Why don't you leave me alone?
Just thought talking it out with a friend might help.
Friend? You're not a friend. I thought you were. Now you're shooting needles into me like he always does.
David, mine's a different kind of needle. The kind a doctor might use. You eat because you're scared, you drink because you're scared. That's why you're fat, David, not because you were born fat.
You know more than a doctor, huh?
David, I want to tell you something, but I need your word that you keep it to yourself.
Sure, Bill, sure.
I'm a doctor. Yeah, I'm a doctor. I've treated cases like yours.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. Would you do me a favor?
Yeah?
Go in that barn and show that horse you're not afraid of him.
A doctor, huh? Let's go. You know, Bill, I was on a lot of diets, but none of them ever worked.
Maybe this one.
I hope so. Bill, you mean to say that if I'm not scared, the fat just drops off?
Well, not all of it, David. Not right away.
Okay, Doc.
Don't call me that. Not even out here when we're alone. You understand?
Oh, sure. Sure, Bill. Oh, anything you say. Come on. Let's go. I can't, Bill. I can't go in.
Why not, David?
Well, it's not just the horses. It's a barn. Look, why don't you go in? I gotta think about it.
Come on, boy. Come on.
Want some apple, boy? Would you like another piece? There we go. How am I doing, Bill?
Fine.
Richard? Good boy.
Hey, Fatso! Come here a minute. I want to talk to you.
Yeah, what do you want, Frank?
You stay away from the horses and the barn. Now go on, hit the road.
Look, don't tell me what to do. I'm not scared of you.
Now suppose I were to tell the old man you were hanging around the barn.
Go ahead, tell him.
Davy, you think maybe the Lord's going to listen to Ma, huh? Forgive and forget? Change the will? Leave you a piece of the ranch, huh? Maybe most of it. After all, you are the oldest, Davy. David Jr. Your mama's chubby little darling.
You shut your filthy mouth!
Aren't you, Fatso?
Shut up, you! Ow! Stop it! I'll kill you! Stop it!
From now on, you let him alone.
You know, mister, there's something I don't understand about you. You show up here acting like you're on the bum, and yet you talk like a teacher. One minute he tells me he worked with you in L.A. Next minute he says he met you on the way. What do you want with him? What are you hanging around with a fatso like him for? Who are you, anyway? Maybe I ought to make it my business to find out, huh?
Come on, Dave.
Well, Mom and...
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, Mom and Pop were at a horse auction in Louisville. Frank was in the Army, so I had to stay here and take care of the place. Alone. I got drunk. Passed out. When I came to that night, I was laying in the corral. Barn was burning. Horses were inside. I can still hear them screaming. Don't ask me why I did it. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't want to remember.
And they hopped a freight headed for Springfield. Railroad watchman saw them, and he certainly didn't see him.
What makes you so sure that it was Kimball?
Because the other fellow was built like a blimp. And I've had a hunch from the start that Kimball's been traveling with the fat man he was in jail with. 5'8", 260 pounds, and not too bright. Captain, nobody could miss a target like that. Are you absolutely positive they got off before Springfield?
Positive. I phoned ahead.
There's no doubt about it. They're within 80 miles of here.
You mean they were? Okay. But I've got a new lead on the Norton murder, and I want you back here on Monday.
Okay.
Right. Well, surprise, Bill. I didn't get drunk.
Good.
You know, Bill, something funny happened. I said I wasn't going to remember and wasn't even trying, but all of a sudden things started to happen and the... What are you putting those clothes on for?
I'm leaving, David.
Leaving?
I can't take a chance, David, after what happened with Frank. I'll write you.
Where?
Here?
Oh, no. You can't leave me alone. I thought you were my friend.
I can't stay, David. If you knew I was running, you'd understand.
Sure, but you don't trust me enough to tell me. You're afraid the big brain might spill the beans by accident. Okay, Mr. Carter.
David, my name isn't Carter. It's Kimball, Dr. Richard Kimball. I'm wanted by the police. I was convicted on a murder charge. I was innocent. I managed to escape.
Murder? Oh, I don't believe it.
See, David, I had an argument with my wife. I went out of the house. I drove around for a while. When I came back, she was dead. There was no way to prove that I wasn't there at the time. Witnesses had heard us arguing. On my way to death row, I managed to get away. The police have been after me ever since. And I've been after the man that murdered my wife.
You know who it is, Bill?
I got home that night. I saw a man running from my house, a man that had one arm. I think it was him.
One arm, huh? I'll help you find him, Bill. I'll help you.
No, it's my job, David. Your job is stay here. Stay here, find yourself. It's your home.
Wasn't there something I can do, though, to help you out?
Yeah. Frank starts to ask you what happened to me. You tell him I picked up a ride to Louisville.
But you'll really be going the other way, right?
Right.
Well, good luck, Dr. Kimball.
Mr. Lambert.
Davy told me you were leaving.
Well, I wanted to say goodbye, but you were in with Mr. Lambert.
Couldn't you possibly stay a little longer? It would mean so much to Davy.
I wish I could.
I'm sorry. Where do you get your ride to Louisville? I can take you there.
Well, any place on the other side of town.
Okay, come on, hop in. And Davy's, well, it isn't that he's retarded. It's just that he's a slow learner. At least that's what they said in the school. Just a slow learner, and there isn't anything anybody could do about it. I tried too hard, I guess. I coddled him like a baby.
Frank was jealous because you didn't baby him.
I know.
Mrs. Lambert, I'd like to get the name of a doctor that could help David. Would you let me send it to you?
No. No, it's too late for that, I'm afraid. Something happened a few years ago, and I don't think Davy will ever get over it.
Tell me about burning the barn.
I still can't believe it. Well, he must have planned it for days. Buying the kerosene and hiding the cans and then pouring it all around the barn.
I didn't know it was premeditated. I thought it was an accident. I can't picture Davy doing anything deliberately like that.
But he did. You see, our ranch hand was visiting relatives in Texas, and Frank was 15 miles away at Camp Weatherton. And then they found Davy's penknife in the barn.
I don't care what they found. Davy couldn't do a thing like that.
Hello, Sheriff.
Hello, Frank. How's your father doing?
Oh, one day good and one day's bad, you know.
All right if I come by?
Why, sure. That's the reason I'm here, as a matter of fact. You can make a pickup while you're there.
Oh?
Fatso's back.
Davy. Home to see his father.
Well, that's what he says, but there's still a warrant out for him, isn't there, Sheriff?
Came back because he heard his father was dying. And you want me to pick him up. Wait a minute. Did Davy come back alone or with somebody?
He was with somebody. Why?
Had a call today from the Springfield police.
I knew there was something wrong with that fella. What did he do?
Is he still there?
No, left today. What did he do, Sheriff?
Springfield, this is Crowley in Elsmore. Is Lieutenant Gerard there? Oh. Well, he telephoned about an escaped murderer who might be traveling with a fat man. Next time he checks with you, tell him I'm picking up somebody who might be the fat man. Yeah.
Should we both go in your car, Sheriff?
No. I just had it cleaned and polished.
Yeah, anything wrong?
No, you going to the camp?
Yeah.
Could you give me a lift?
Yeah, okay, hop in.
Come on now, Davy. Where'd he really go?
I told you, Louisville. Look, why don't you leave him alone? He's such a nice man. He's a doctor. He helps people.
I'm only doing what the law says has to be done. That's your duty as well as mine. Where did he go?
Man like him, a doctor.
A doctor convicted of murder.
No, he didn't do it. I know he didn't.
How do you know?
Well, the reason I know it is because I'm the one you want, not him.
All right, Davy. Tell me all about it.
Well, I heard him arguing with his wife. So I figured that if I did it, they would blame him. I don't know why I did it. It was just something that came over me. Like when I burned the barn. Well, the sheriff will tell you that.
Go on.
Well, I waited till Carter left. I mean, Dr. Kimball. And when he talked about the man with the one arm, that was me.
And, how do you account for that, Davy?
Well, a couple days before that, I sprained my wrist, see? And I had it stuck in my coat. Cause then I could look like a one-armed man.
Yeah, and of course you were much thinner at the time.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't fat then.
I don't know how to say this, but he's talking real crazy, like he never did before he went away. About being a one-armed man who committed a murder, killed a woman.
What? Oh, no, he couldn't have.
But it was in the Kimball apartment, you remember that?
I told you I did.
And on the 6th floor, you're positive?
Yeah. It's the 6th floor.
Good. Well, that puts you in the clear, Davy. Because it was a house. It wasn't an apartment at all.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I know. Good try, Davy. Now, where did Carter go?
I told you. Louisville.
Davy, if I ever commit a murder, I hope I have a friend like you to cover up for me. Think I better drive you home now. Come along, Davy.
Yeah. I'll ride along with you. I want to talk to his mother.
Bill!
I want to talk to Mr. Lambert.
Oh, Bill, I'm so glad you're back.
What's the matter?
It's Davy. Something terrible's happened to him.
What's happened?
The sheriff called and said that Davy's just confessed to a murder. He said that he killed somebody, some woman, and that he was pretending he only had one arm.
Davy didn't kill anybody, Mrs. Lambert.
I know, but why would he say a thing like that?
I think I know why. Take my word for it, he didn't kill anyone.
Well, I don't understand.
I'll have him explain it to you. Right now, I want to talk to Mr. Lambert.
David. David.
Huh? Oh.
It's Davy's friend, Bill. He wants to talk to you.
What do you want? Mr. Lambert, I checked on something you should have looked into 8 years ago. I got a lift from a soldier. We had a cup of coffee at the camp. Got to talking. I asked him to do me a favor. He found out that Frank was absent without leave. The same night your barn was burned.
Oh, no.
You expect me to believe that? Now, here's something you can believe. He was court-martialed. Court-martials are a matter of public record.
Maggie, I still can't believe it.
You phoned the judge advocate's office at the camp. I'll tell you it's true.
Hello, Billy boy. Just back up into the room. That's it. Right over there. I thought I heard you. I couldn't believe my ears.
Frank, put down that gun.
Aren't you the one, though, coming back here? You know, there's a fella in town asking about you. The sheriff.
Put that gun down! ask you something. Did you burn the barn?
Me?
You did, didn't you?
Now, Ma, you're not going to listen to him, are you? Do you know what he is, Ma?
And what are you, Frank, to do a thing like that? And let everybody think your brother did it. How could you let Davy suffer like that all these years?
He's lying, Ma. He's lying so that Davy can get the ranch and cut him in on it. You don't believe I did it, do you, Pa?
Come over here, Frank, and put that gun down.
Oh, no, Pa, please. You've got to believe me. I didn't do it.
Put that gun down.
They're looking for me.
Go out the side door. I'll hold them here as long as I can.
Put that gun out of sight.
Tell David I'll write to him.
You get back there, Frank. And when these men come in, don't you open your mouth. Davy. Oh, Davy.
It's all right, Miss Lambert. Everything's all right. Lieutenant, this is Lieutenant Gerard. He'd like to talk to you.
How do you do, Lieutenant? Would you excuse me just a minute, please? Davy, I think your father would like to talk to you about something.
Sit down, son. I'm sorry, Davy. Forgive me.
You're sure he said he was going to Louisville?
Oh, yes, yes. And if he got the ride he expected, he should be there by now.
And you don't know anything else?
No.
How about your son?
Frank, did you hear the lieutenant?
I don't know anything else, Lieutenant. Not a thing.
Thank you.
From an old friend. No return address, no name. A fugitive has to watch his step. Every step he takes, every hour, every minute, every second. Any move he makes might lead to death row. There's no way of knowing in advance. There's never any way of knowing. The name, Dr. Richard Kimball. The destination, Death Row State Prison. The irony, Richard Kimball is innocent. Proved guilty, what Richard Kimball could not prove was that moments before discovering his murdered wife's body, he saw a one-armed man running from the vicinity of his home. Richard Kimball ponders his fate as he looks at the world for the last time and sees only darkness. But in that darkness, fate moves its huge hand.
The Fugitive. A QM production, starring David Jansen as The Fugitive, with guest stars Nancy Wickwire, Frank Overton, Paul Carr, also starring Barry Morse as Lieutenant Gerard. Tonight's episode, Nightmare at North Oak.
Finally, Kimball. Finally.
This is Richard Kimball's recurring nightmare. And each time it ends, he wonders whether he will awaken to the same nightmare of reality.
Wilma, open the curtains. Just a little. Well, how do you feel, sir?
In my head, everything's a little blurred.
Well, I wouldn't expect much less after that crack on the skull. You'll feel better with some rest.
Is he unconscious again?
Asleep.
Doctor says he'll be all right.
What do we do now?
Change a compress every hour or so, and don't fuss over it.
You sure he wouldn't be better off in a hospital?
Well, if you and Wilma don't want the responsibility.
Oh, that isn't what I said, Doc. I brought him here so we would have the responsibility.
Well, then, all there is to see to is that he rests.
Oh, we'll do it, Doctor, and we'll be proud.
Well, a concussion. X-rays show no fracture. The vision's kind of blurred, but it'll clear up in a couple of days.
Are you sure, Doctor?
I'll be happy to give you the name of a specialist in Boston.
Oh, Doctor, maybe I can fix him something real nice to eat. I took a first aid course once. I could sit with him.
What brands he smoke? Maybe get him some nice whiskey, huh?
What you can all do for him is to go home and let him sleep. Wilma, be over sometime tomorrow. Expect you to be sitting up then.
Doc, he saved my kids' lives. I'd count it a favor if you let me pay the bill.
And I'd count it a favor if you mind your own business. Every child on that bus. I brought every single one of them into this world.
Find out who he is?
Absolutely no identification. Probably burned up on the bus. He was dressed for hunting or hiking, though.
Have any idea why the bus went out of control like that?
Tire blew.
Barney's such a careful driver. Must be something like that. Something that wasn't anybody's fault.
Yep. Accidents will happen.
Accidents will happen. Something that isn't anyone's fault. Let me tell you, accidents are caused. They're always someone's fault. And when I think that the lives of our children might have been endangered, and might be again, I intend to find out exactly what happened and who's responsible.
Honey, we all know how you feel about
Right
these things.
is right.
Well, let us take care of that.
I think maybe we'd all better be going home. Come on, Joe. Wilma, if there's anything we can do, just...
Goes for us, too. Let us know when we see him.
Yes, I will, Charlie. Anna.
You try and get some rest now.
Hey, come on, Dee.
Hey, sign him up. Nice catch, Dad.
Thanks, son.
They say that man's gonna be all right. I'm glad.
He needs a lot of rest. That means you help your mother keep things nice and quiet around here, you understand?
Hi, Mr. Plummer.
Milt Plummer of the Courier.
Milton, I've known you all your life.
I heard that Al brought that hero over here.
Now, he's asleep, and I will not permit him to be disturbed.
Oh, but I won't disturb him. I'll just grab a couple of pictures and I'll...
Pictures? Oh, you'll do nothing of the kind, Milk Plum.
But please, Mrs. Springer. Well, at least something about him. You know, who he is, where he's from. Something.
Milton, I couldn't help you even if I wanted to. We simply don't know anything about him. Now, I've got to make supper now, Milton. If I were you, I'd go home before you get overheated and catch cold. Say hello to your folks for me, will you?
But Mrs. Springer, couldn't I just... What say, Larry boy?
I already said hi.
Yeah, say, how'd you like to earn some cash? $1.
How?
That fella in the house? Get me a couple of pictures of him.
Mr. Plummer, my dad said not to bother him.
He's asleep, kid. Look, one picture. It won't take a second. You won't even know it. Look, he saved your life, didn't he? Well, now you have a chance to do something for him. You can make him famous.
I could?
Sure. Here, wait. Make it $2. There you go. Now look, I'll have the camera all set for you. All you have to do is stand back about 6 feet, say, and then look through this sports finder, not through the glass one. Look through the sports finder there. Make sure his face is right in there, okay? Now, you take the camera and you hold it real steady, and then you take a deep breath to hold it that way, see? And then you push that button right there. Got it? Push the button. Hold it steady. I'll take the ball. Now hurry up, huh?
That ham looks like Hester Branch's. Hester does do a good ham.
Well, morning, you're up with the chickens.
We were hoping we'd get here first.
Oh, I wonder who left these.
Here, let me help you. How was he this morning?
Oh, he's still asleep.
Oh, well, we don't want to bother you, Wilma.
Yes, we just thought we'd come, see how he is.
When he does wake up, I thought maybe he'd like some preserves.
I hope he likes his calf's foot jelly.
Well, thank you very much, girls. I'll be sure and tell him who they're from.
Hey, that guy's finally awake. Dad says to come on in.
Oh, good. Here, now put these jars in the kitchen and the other things, too. This minute. Larry, that man is not a guy.
Thought I'd try sitting up for a while.
Well, are you sure you're up to it?
Well, I still can't see too clearly, but I feel a lot better.
When Doc saw you yesterday, he said your vision would clear up in a couple of days.
Yesterday? I must have been delirious. Did I?
No, not a word.
My name is George Porter. I've been working in a lumber camp just north of here. I don't have any family.
Oh.
I'm proud to know you, Mr. Porter, and grateful.
Mr. Porter, is there anything we can do for you?
No, thanks. You've done enough already.
Look at me standing here talking. You must be starving to death.
Well, Now that you mention it, Mrs. Spring,
Patient is taking nourishment. I'll be right back.
I want you to know, Mr. Porter, that our house is yours as long as you like. The truth is, everybody else in North Oak is jealous that we've got you.
You a police officer, Mr. Springer?
Sheriff. That's how I happen to be.
Excuse me, Dad, but Ernie called. Said to tell you the state police are waiting for you.
Okay, son. Oh, Larry. This is Mr. George Porter. This is our boy, Larry.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
Oh, I bet the paper's just full of that accident.
I'd better go finish breakfast now.
Take a look at this. Your picture plastered all over the front page. It's too bad that compress covers most of your face.
That's too bad.
Say, I wonder how they got that picture.
Now, you know Mr. Porter mustn't strain his eyes. There, is that comfortable for you?
Oh, it's fine, thank you.
I've got to go over and talk with the state police.
The investigation is going to be handled by the state?
No, they'll be working with me.
Working with you? Except that it's common knowledge how the state and county people try to protect each other. Al, don't let them do it this time. If the county's to blame for the condition of the roads, it ought to be made public. The state laws allow laxity in the inspection of school buses.
Now, honey, you don't worry. There isn't going to be a whitewash of anyone. You know, sometimes I call the little woman here the real sheriff of Oak County, just as a joke. I'll see you in a bit. You have a good day, Mr. Porter.
Oh, that's just a start. I have hot cakes, eggs, and sausages on the way.
Thank you.
I hope I didn't sound like a nag about the investigation. Well, it's not that dishonesty's involved, but, you know, sometimes it can be just as bad if people don't stick to the letter of the law. My father was a judge, you see. He always said that the law was the main reason mankind was able to keep standing on its hind legs.
He was camping near the road when the accident occurred. He's described as being about 35 years of age, 6 feet tall, weighing 175 pounds, with black hair and blue eyes. Well, that could be almost anybody.
Including Richard Kimball.
Phil, the odds against...
Odds?
Phil, you have to admit you don't have much to go on.
Yes, I know. New England, when we expect him to be in the South. Camping alone, thousands do. No identification. Well, he could have lost that in the accident.
Then you still think this might be Kimball?
This is.
Well, of course I'll give you full cooperation, Lieutenant. But if you don't mind my saying so, this George Porter can't be your man. Well, if you insist, I'll get a set of prints and send them out today. What? No, You can take my word for it. He's in no condition to go any place for at least a couple of days.
I told you, we're having a top secret club meeting. You're not supposed to. Hey, guys! It's Mr. Porter. He must have wandered off from the Springers. Mr. Porter, you okay? We better get help fast. My dad, I'll go get him. Mr. Porter, sir, you don't have to worry. We'll take you back. You know what? It makes me feel so good. We're saving him.
Wait, Wilma. Wilma! Wilma! Wait a minute, will you? Is it true? Is Mr. Porter really out of his mind?
Oh, Mattie, Frida.
Well, Art's wife called and said Art found him a half a mile away in the meadow and then took him home to your house.
He is not out of his mind, and I will not participate in any such foolish gossip.
Well, isn't that a prescription you had made up for him at the drugstore?
It's a sedative to calm him.
But a half a mile out in the meadow. And why would he want to do a thing like that?
Well, Dr. Babcock, who I dare say knows more about such things than any of us, says he's probably still suffering from the concussion. Or have we forgotten that he was injured?
Oh, I see you got dressed. I hope I'm not disturbing you.
Oh, not at all. Come on in.
I feel like it. Well, I mean, I have to do this. I had an inquiry from a detective out of town, a man named Gerard. He has a wild idea you might be somebody he's looking for, an escaped murderer named Kimball.
Murderer? Well, about that. One day a hero, the next day a dangerous criminal.
I know, it's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard of. Do you understand? I have to cooperate. Ordinarily, I'd get somebody who could vouch for you. But in this case, well, Gerard wants your fingerprints.
Well, whoever this Gerard is, I guess we ought to keep him happy, huh?
Won't be for long. When he gets these in a couple of hours, he'll see what a mistake he made.
What do you want me to do?
Just relax. I got everything here. You have your right hand. I'm gonna write that Gerard a piece of my mind when this is cleared up. Making me do this to you after all you've done for us.
Al, what in heaven's name?
There's nothing to worry about, honey. Just clearing up a case of mistaken identity.
But must you treat Mr. Porter as though you're arresting him?
Oh, it's all right, Mrs. Springer.
We want to get this cleared away today.
Well, is it that serious?
No, it isn't, but it could be. An out-of-state detective saw Mr. Porter's picture in the paper, had a brainstorm. This man who's been in our house after saving our boy's life, among others, is really an escaped murderer named Richard Kimball. Yeah, that'll do it. Not as bad as a visit to the dentist, was it, Mr. Porter?
No, there are worse things.
Considering I haven't taken a set of prints in several years, that's a pretty professional job, if I say so myself. I'll rush these over to the state police and they'll send them out by wire photo.
Al.
Just a minute, honey. Let me make this call.
When you wandered away, it was because you'd seen the paper. You were afraid. You were trying to run away.
Don't call him just yet. Will you let me explain? I am Richard Kimball.
Escaped murderer.
Well, escaped, yes, and convicted, but I swear to you as I swore to the court, I'm innocent.
I understand it to hear criminals tell it they're all innocent. Was it a fair trial?
Well, legally, yes. But you see, my defense was I saw a one-armed man. I know he's the one who killed my wife.
Wife?
Well, I didn't do what he did. But you see, they couldn't find him, so everywhere I go, I look for him.
It seems to me that's a job for the proper authorities.
The proper authorities have looked for him, they couldn't find him, so now they're only looking for me. Mrs. Springer, if I'm caught.
If you're caught, as soon as this detective gets those fingerprints, he'll know.
Well, that's why I'm telling you all this. I thought you might help me escape. All you have to do is go out the door and shut it.
So that you can run off again. You asked for a chance to explain. I gave it to you, and now you want me to be an accomplice.
Do you know of any other human being I can ask? Is that too much to ask? A life for a life?
Well, it's no trouble for me to run them over myself. Goodbye. They can't pick these up until later, and I want to get them out right away and clear up this nonsense once and for all.
Al?
Yes?
Nothing.
Honey, I know how you feel. We say anything, Mr. Porter. We'll do anything for you, and then we do this. But listen, he's my kind of man. He understands I'm only doing my job. We'll make it up to him.
What's right is right. He is Richard Kimball.
Oh, my Lord. Sorry, Mr. Kimball. You'll come with me now. That won't be necessary.
Yeah, well, if Al needs any more information, just tell him I'll be glad to give it to him, huh?
Will do, Barney. Thanks for coming in.
Okay.
Hey, Barney, I'd like to do a follow-up human interest story on you.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
why not?
Would you come on over here?
Hey, Mr. Porter.
Oh, hey,
Boy, I'm sure happy to see you.
Hey, could I get a picture of you here?
No, no pictures. Put it away.
No pictures?
Phone that detective. Tell him we've got his man.
What's got into Al Springer? Gone feeble-minded or something?
I'll say. He's treating Mr. Porter like a criminal.
He just doesn't make sense.
Finally, Kimball. Finally. Kimball.
Big, I'll bet you. There's something big going on there.
Sheriff will be with you in a minute, Pete.
Thank you, sir. Yes, the sheriff has a man he can send right away. Goodbye. Well, no trouble about extradition. So if you'll just certify that he's in your custody and that you authorize his release to me. Sheriff?
Here you go. Attorney General's office at the Capitol.
Make it fast. They're waiting for it. How long will it take him?
About 3 hours. I said about 3 hours. That clock may be a few seconds off.
Well, in that case, let's say about 10:30, huh?
Did he eat much, Ernie?
A little.
Oh, don't worry, Lieutenant. I made sure he didn't keep the spoon.
Hardly the suicide type.
Huh? What type would you say he is?
Just a figure of speech, gentlemen.
Well, whatever he is, Ernie can keep an eye on him while I go get some supper.
Yeah, I haven't eaten since breakfast. I didn't bother on the plane.
Welcome to come home with me.
Well, that's kind of you, Sheriff, but I think I'd rather stay here. Maybe I can get a sandwich where you got this.
Well, they'll be closing about now. I only live a few blocks away.
Well, thank you, but Kimball got away from me once, and I certainly don't want to...
Ernie knows his business.
I suppose we check him before we go.
Yes, sir, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
John. Is he still there? I'll be at home if you need me, Ernie.
Right.
No one's to be admitted, and take a look at him now and again, will you?
Yes, sir, Lieutenant.
And then another time I got a lead. He was working in an amusement park in New Jersey. I learned quite a lot about that amusement park before the lead proved to be false. But that's all over now. Of course, his capture was inevitable. I've known it all along.
What's the matter, son?
Your father asked you a question, dear.
It's my fault. I took the picture of it. I thought I was doing him a favor.
Larry, no.
Son, you have nothing whatever to feel guilty about.
I'm sorry for Larry that he had to be the one.
Mrs. Springer, you must help him to get over it. Convince him that he did the right thing. Just as you know that you did.
What will happen to him now?
When the papers are returned from the capital, he'll be remanded to my custody. I shall deliver him to prison, and there'll be a new date set for his execution.
What he did for us, for so many people here in North Oak, is it possible that the law
might alter his sentence? My guess would be no.
Best leave him be for the night.
Oh, Sheriff, I suppose we should be getting back. Mrs. Springer, I'll always remember this fine meal.
Lieutenant, did he kill his wife?
The law says he did.
That's not what I mean. Did he really kill her?
The law says he's guilty. I enforce the law.
That's right, is right.
I suppose you could put it as simply as that.
I have. All my life.
Well, goodbye, Mrs. Springer. And thank you again.
Everything all right?
Yeah.
When did you check last?
6 minutes and 9 seconds ago. Want me to check again?
Well, I wouldn't want you to tire yourself. I'll do it.
Lieutenant, I'll be at home. Ernie will call me when the papers get back.
Now? Soon. Cigarette?
I've got some.
How you must hate me.
It's all very easy for you, Gerard, black and white.
Yes, it has to be. Which gives you the advantage. Any disguise you choose. Hero to a whole town.
Saving kids from a burning bus, that's a disguise. You know, for all the thinking I've done about you, I don't know how your mind works at all. Now, maybe I do. I'm a fugitive, so nothing I do is decent.
Well, all this time, all those places, hadn't you been living a lie?
I had a choice, didn't I? Gerard, when they take me down to that holding cell and give me my last meal, walk me to the door and strap me in that chair, my words are going to be exactly the same. I didn't kill her. I didn't, Gerard.
No, of course you didn't. Tucson, Dallas, Los Angeles, Seattle, Atlanta, Miami, and North Hook. All those rooms, all those days and nights alone, remembering and imagining. Until the difference between reality and fantasy is not quite so clear anymore.
You make yourself believe that being a fugitive has done something to my mind. You're forgetting that my story's exactly the same now as it was the night of the murder.
And it was and is a lie.
What, are you so godlike that because you couldn't find a one-armed man, you don't believe he exists?
I've done everything humanly possible to find him.
I think you have. I wonder why.
It's my job.
It's also a curse, isn't it, Gerard? You know, I think you have nightmares, too. Your nightmare is that when I'm dead, you'll find him. What are you running from, Gerard?
Papers back already?
It's just some people out front who want to say goodbye to him. I said it was all right.
Goodbye? What are you planning, a farewell party?
I said they could file by and shake hands with him.
I can't allow anything like
He's
that.
still my prisoner. All right, folks, now remember, no conversation, no waiting around.
Goodbye, my boy. Courage. Thank you.
I'm going home to see how my boy is. I'll be back in time.
I imagine you'd like to go home, too.
I sure would, Lieutenant.
Car should have been here by now.
Well, I'll check him again.
Don't bother.
Much obliged, Lieutenant. Lieutenant? No need to worry about him.
Ernie.
This is everyone who was here last night. One of them passed him a key when they were saying goodbye.
I appreciate your taking all this trouble, Sheriff. But I already know who did it. I know how you feel about him. And about me. You let him out.
That's a lie.
I don't think so. And I don't think a jury is going to believe that you were just being kind, letting everyone in to say goodbye to Kimball, giving you the chance to slip him the key. I'm going to see to it that you're charged with aiding and abetting a fugitive.
You're wrong, Lieutenant. My husband didn't do it. I knew about the key being in the drawer. I gave it to Mr. Kimball.
You did. Well, I'm sure you understand what this means, Mrs. Springer. You'll be arrested.
Don't listen to her. I've been in here often enough. I slipped it to him.
Didn't either? He saved my life when I paid him back. I'm the one.
He was not. I did it.
I'm the guilty one. None of them did it. I did.
I did.
What are you going to do about that?
It's not fair. It's not fair at all.
Another city, another identity. Help wanted. Help, but there is none. Richard Kimball must live with his past and his future. His only consolation that somewhere, perhaps here, there is a one-armed man who has nightmares of him. The name, Dr. Richard Kimball. The destination, Death Row State Prison. The irony? Richard Kimball is innocent. Proved guilty, what Richard Kimball could not prove was that moments before discovering his murdered wife's body, he saw a one-armed man running from the vicinity of his home. Richard Kimball ponders his fate as he looks at the world for the last time and sees only darkness. But in that darkness, fate moves its huge hand.
The Fugitive. A QM production, starring David Jansen as The Fugitive. With guest stars Leslie Nielsen, Edward Binns, Diana Vandervlies. Tonight's episode, Glass Tightrope.
It doesn't matter anymore who you are or where. Every town, every city is just like the last. A waypoint on an endless road that goes nowhere. A place to stop running, to think, to hide. Another job, another name. Is that enough? It has to be. It's all you've got.
Excuse me. Yes? I was supposed to pick up a projector and a can of film.
Who from?
Mr. Rowland. I'm from Denshaw's department store.
Be a few minutes. The meeting just about to break up.
Congratulations, Martin. The film was very stimulating.
Well, I didn't pick it, and I didn't like it.
No, you're just being modest.
Just doing what the entertainment committee asked, that's all. Art films.
Good old lower middle class morality. I thought you'd grown out of that when you married Denshaw's.
Ginny. That still bugs you, doesn't it?
Does it?
Yes, Howie. She married me when you were so willing and available.
Just a minute, Martin. Maybe you're...
Excuse me, Mr. Rowland. There's a driver here from Denshaw.
All right, send him in.
Yes, sir.
This is the stuff here. Projector and a film.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. I don't remember you from the store.
Well, I've only been at Denshaw since Monday, sir.
What's your name?
Harry Carson. I work in the stockroom.
Starting at the bottom? Well, there's a better way, you know. Marry the boss's daughter. Start at the top.
All right, get this stuff down to my office. In the morning. Lock that film up tonight.
Yes, sir.
What Mr. Denshaw... pardon me, I mean, Mr. Rowland means is... no private screenings for your friends, huh?
No, sir.
Howie, I'm not going to tell you again. Lay off.
Lay off?
You know what I mean.
No wonder Jenny's so bored. No sense of humor. Martin, come on, now take a little advice.
All right, I heard you. You said it. Now shut up.
Martin, it was just a harmless little joke. I didn't mean to imply that Jenny was playing around.
Now look,
I'm not discussing my wife with you.
Listen, we're old friends. We grew up together. We're bound to run into each other once in a while. Of course, if people are going to talk, obviously we're going to have to be a little more discreet. Huh? Fall back.
Hello? Hello? Yes, I'd like to report an accident. The parking lot of the Excelsior Club. You don't need a name. A man has been hurt. It's very serious. Can you get an ambulance over there right away?
No. Harry, how many times do I have to tell you? You're getting too much work done too soon. You can ruin it for everybody. Slow and easy, right?
Right.
Now you're singing my song. Thanks for picking up that film for me last night.
Anytime. How was your date?
She stood me up. Can you beat it? Smooth apple like me.
You're breaking my heart, Floyd.
Good morning, sugar. Busy, 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 like I say. Always keep busy.
You're new here. I've only been here 3 days. What's your name? Harry Carson.
Mr. Engstrom, he's the store detective.
A detective, that doesn't mean like in the funny cartoons. I was on the force 13 years. You think you can remember that? I think so. You're ready for your second lesson. I'm allergic to shoplifters, both in front of the counter and in back of the counter. Am I reaching you? Loud and clear. You get sticky fingers, I'll bust you in two. Put on your jacket.
Yes, sir. He likes to play cop.
He was a cop.
He was booted, some kind of hanky-panky. He was starving when the old man picked him up.
The old man?
Yeah, our late revered founder, Mr. Hiram Denshaw. The kind of nose he had for a bargain. No wonder he built up a business like this. He bought Angstrom for 20 cents on the dollar. He also bought an All-American fullback for his daughter.
Floyd? Floyd, did you hear? It's on the radio. Mr. Rowland's mixed up in some kind of a murder.
You're kidding.
No, really. Isn't it exciting?
Shut up.
Well, let me hear.
Shh, I'm trying to get the station.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
And of course, the brutal killing has shocked the entire city. Mr. Pasco was a distinguished citizen, long active in civic and social circles. The cause of death has been established as a massive cerebral hemorrhage resulting from a hard blow on the head. Martin C. Rowland, president of Denshaw's department store and longtime friend of Howard Pasco, revealed this morning that he was possibly the last person to see him alive. Meanwhile, being held without bail on suspicion of murder is Arthur Tibbetts, no fixed address. Tibbetts claims he had no part in the killing, but police point out that he was found near the scene with Mr. Pasco's watch and billfold in his possession. Now here's a look at the weather.
They got the wrong man. That hits close to home, remember? They wouldn't believe you either. Tough, but it's no concern of yours. You have to stay clear, stay out of it. You can't afford to take the chance. What is he, a stranger, a vagrant, a nothing? Just a name, Arthur Tibbetts, no fixed address? Ask yourself, is he worth the risk?
Hello? Hello? Who is this? Well, just a minute. I'm not sure if he is. It's for you. Hello, I'm sorry. Mr. Rowland isn't available at the moment. Could he call you tomorrow? If you just leave your name and phone number. Well, I don't see why you can't. Just a minute, please. He just keeps insisting.
All right, I'll take it out in the living room.
Hang on, please.
Martin Rowland, what is it?
Mr. Rowland, I was in the parking lot last night.
Who is this?
I know it was an accident. I saw everything that happened.
Who are you? What do you want?
Don't you think you ought to call the police?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That old man they're going to charge with murder. You know he didn't do it. I was hoping you might clear it.
Or what? Go on, say it, or what? Why don't you come right out and say it, huh? Hello? Hello? Phil Mayland, Martin Rowland calling. Well, tell him to call me as soon as he comes in, then, will you?
Darling, they're never there when you want them. Lawyers, doctors, wives. You really need that. Still haven't learned how to hide trouble, have you?
No, I'm slow, my dear. I'm still learning which fork to use.
Darling, what does the man want?
Nothing. Nothing that would interest you.
Martin, I was on the other phone.
You know, even on my side of town, we call that a lousy, underhanded trick.
It's obvious. Howie must have been baiting you again. What was it about this time? Not me. What did he say?
You know what he said. Was it true?
That would be like Howie, wouldn't it? He'd probe till he found some sensitive spot.
Was it true?
And you'd have to hit him, of course. Not slap him and really destroy him. You'd have to hit him with your all-American fist.
I didn't know he was hurt.
Be sure and tell the police that. This, man Tibbetts they've arrested. He's a vagrant, isn't he, with a criminal record?
It's just petty stuff.
Well, this isn't petty. He stole Howie's wallet and his watch.
He didn't hit him, and he didn't kill him.
You're going to say it's a matter of conscience. If it were conscience, you'd have called Phil Mayland this morning. You're just worried because someone saw you.
Suppose he calls the police.
When he's found the mother lode, he'll call again. He'll want money. Give it to him.
And what about that man?
What about you? What about Denshaw's? What about me?
Oh, you. Well, you don't have to get mixed up in this. I don't really expect it of you.
Darling, for a man in your social position, the head of a big department store, just let them get a whisper what you and Howie were fighting about. Those filthy rags will print my name so large there won't be any room left for the story. Martin, for a worthless old drunk, no earthly good to anyone. Hello? Phil? Yes, darling, we did. We thought we had a problem, but It's all been settled.
Mr. Rowland?
Yes.
Your secretary said you were expecting me.
Come in, come in. You're the driver I talked to the other night?
Yes, sir.
I gave you some instructions. You didn't follow them. Why?
You mean about the can of film?
It was supposed to be brought up here yesterday morning.
Yeah, well, I thought you'd want it delivered to you personally. Your secretary said you wouldn't be in something about the district attorney's office.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, I suppose you've read about that. It's a terrible thing.
Yes, sir. I took it upon myself to lock the film up in the stockroom.
Oh, that was very smart of you. So your name is,
Carson.
Carson, Harry Carson. Well, I'm not used to my employees thinking for themselves like that, Carson.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Mr. Rowland, I want to remind you the hearing is at 11:30.
Yes, yes, I remember. 11:30 hearing. I'm on my way now. Here, this is the address. Get the film over there. Tell them I'll pay them for the extra day.
Yes, sir.
Carson. I would like you to drive me somewhere. I'm just a little rocky from, when you lose someone close like that, tell, Miss Galt to have the film delivered, and I'll meet you down in the garage.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Thank you.
Tell me, Mr. Angstrom, how long have you been with Denshaws?
Be 12 years in October.
Daddy used to say you were like one of his family. He admired you so.
Mrs. Rowland, you know he picked me out of the gutter.
What I mean to say is, he knew he could depend on you.
If you're asking me, ma'am, so can you.
Thank you. I was sure I could. This is a very delicate matter, Mr. Angstrom. I suppose that blackmail always is.
Somebody's blackmailing you?
Not me. My husband.
Officer, where exactly did you find the defendant?
After the ambulance left, my partner and I took a quick look around. We found him hiding in the alley. We must have trapped him when we drove in.
I see. Let the record show that the witness was pointing directly at the defendant. Now, officer, had you ever seen him before?
Artie Tibbetts? Sure, we pick him up regular. Except he was in the wrong neighborhood. And I ask him and he can't tell me why. So I search him. And he's got Mr. Pascoe's wallet and his watch.
I didn't kill him. He was laying there. I just rolled him, that's all. That's the truth, I swear. You want the truth, don't you? He was laying there when I came into the lot. And it looked so easy. What's the use? What's the use?
While this is a hearing and not a trial, I won't stand for any more outbursts. Does the prosecutor have any further questions?
No, Your Honor.
Witness excused. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, I should like to call Mr. Martin Rowland.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 1
Mr. Rowland, previous testimony seems to indicate that you were the last person to see Mr. Pascoe alive.
Yes, we walked out to the parking lot together.
Was Mr. Pascoe quite well when you left? Well, now, Mr. Rowland, we realize the loss of a good friend. Would you like a minute?
No, I'm all right. Mr. Pascoe was standing by his car when I drove out. Over here.
Oh, hi, Sarge. What's up?
Wednesday night, you made a pickup at the Excelsior Club. Panel truck number 42 checked out to Floyd Bolton at 10:30.
Oh, yeah, well, you see...
You picked up a camera and some film stuff and checked back in at 11:25. Round trip, a half hour or less. It took you almost an hour.
Well, if that's all you want to know... something happened with the truck? Fender, maybe? Somebody hurt? Look, I just don't want to get anybody in any trouble.
You, boy, you're the one who's in trouble. You better tell me why it took you so long.
Okay. Okay, only no names, huh? You see, there's this dame, well, she's a nurse, and she works on the night shift, see? Well, she called me up, and she asked me to take her home. So what can I do, Sarge? I picked up the truck, I made the pickup, and then I took her home. Only she lives over on Maxton Street, and by the time I got back, it took almost an hour.
What's her name?
Sarge, we
Let's
promised
have it.
no names. Sugar Johansson. Sarge.
I won't put it in the report unless I have to.
Boy, it almost was a bad one.
What?
Oh, relax. I double-talked Angstrom, but good.
Angstrom?
Yeah, he thinks something happened with the truck Wednesday night. He thinks I was driving.
You sure?
Yeah, sure, I'm sure. He thinks I was making happy with some dame. At least that's what he put in his report.
What report?
To Roland, I guess. One'll get you 5. I'm on the carpet tomorrow. Serves me right, I guess, for getting you to cover for me.
Yeah.
Hey, what did happen, Harry? Harry?
Well, you see, Floyd, that was this girl.
Yeah, I understand.
Darling, who's the letter from? Is it from that man who called Thursday night? How much does he want?
He's not asking for money.
He will. If he thinks he can intimidate you, he'll start cracking his whip soon enough.
He's cracking it now. I insist you go to the authorities at once. You can only help yourself and help an innocent man, too. As I read of his release in the evening papers, I shall...
Let me see that.
He knows what happened. He was there. I'm going to call Phil Maylant.
Darling, don't you think you're a little late? Seems to me you should have called him 2 days ago.
I did call him 2 days ago. You took the return call. You didn't want me to speak to him.
Oh, come now, Martin, let's be honest. Perhaps I did advise against it, but after all, darling, you are the head of this family.
Am I?
You're going to be difficult again.
If I was going to be difficult, I would have told the truth yesterday in court. It was my voice, but the words were yours. Tell me. I'd be interested to know. Why did you show up down there anyway?
Because I didn't want my name dragged in.
And you let a man die. A poor old devil like that.
A criminal. A whiskey-sotted derelict with no place to go and nothing to hope for. I couldn't care less.
Don't you say that. Don't you dare say that. That's what you need. Somebody to knock you down, slap you down.
Go ahead.
No. That's not going to be me.
Because you love me so much.
Mrs. Rowland will see you in the living room.
Oh, darling, Martin, please be reasonable.
Oh, excuse me. Good morning, Mr. Rowland. Mrs. Rowland?
Why, darling, I had to tell Mr. Angstrom. He can help us. He knows about these things. I'm sure he'll be able to find that man.
Before the evening papers come out.
I came by to report.
This morning's mail. It was posted last night in the downtown area. He types very well.
That'll narrow it down. I'll get to work on it.
I was sure you would.
Thank you. Yes, when does the next bus leave for Chicago? That'll be fine. I'll pick up the tickets at 6:30. George Paxton. Thank you.
Hi, Sarge.
Type very well.
I get a lot of practice.
Could have saved myself a whole day.
What do you mean?
Shut up. Lousy machine, huh? So you used a new one out of stock.
Oh, no, Sarge. Listen, I never used anything out of stock.
You saw some things. So you got some big ideas. Make a phone call, write a letter. The dough will come rolling in, huh? What'd you see, boy?
Where? Nothing. I don't know what you're talking
In
about.
the parking lot of the Excelsior Club. You got an eyeful.
When? How? I haven't even been near the Excelsior Club.
You told me yourself Wednesday night in the truck.
Oh, no, Sarge, listen to me, will you? I never drove the truck that night. That's the truth.
But your name is on the dispatch book.
Yeah, well, you see, I got one of the other guys to cover for me.
Name?
Harry Carson.
Where is he?
He's at the printers. I needed some requisitions.
Where does he live?
At the Dover Hotel on 2nd Street.
You better not be lying again, boy.
Lying? Sarge, what do you mean?
There was no Sugar Johansson on Maxton Street.
Homicide, Sergeant Crotus. I'm only going to say this once. It's about the Pasco case. You got the wrong man. Tibbets didn't kill him. It was Martin Rowland. Martin C. Rowland? That's right, of Denshaw's department store. It was an accident, but he's the one that killed Pasco. You take it from there.
You're pretty good at making phone calls, writing letters. Let's see how good you are at walking. Relax. You better wait outside. Where's Mr. Rowland?
He's on his way to the club. I left word. This Harry Carson, you've got him, haven't you?
He's in there. He called the police before I could grab him.
The police?
The only thing is, he didn't leave a name, and they don't like calls without a name. I still have a couple of friends on the force. I think I'll check this out with him. If he starts anything, Monty's right outside.
Harry Carson? I'm Mrs. Rowland.
I was expecting Mr. Rowland.
I hope you're not too disappointed. I'm sure we can talk until my husband arrives. In fact, we may even be able to settle our differences before he gets here. Now, if you'll just tell me what you want.
What I said in the letter.
I see. I think we should establish one thing at the start. My husband is not going to the police. Now then.
You know that old man didn't kill Howard Pasco.
Such concern. This Tibbets must mean a great deal to you. Are you related? Close friends?
I've seen the man exactly once in my life.
Cigarette?
You don't mind?
I don't mind at all. Motives aside, Mr. Carson, if you're so deeply concerned about this drunken old sot, why haven't you gone to the police? Loyalty to Denshaw's? You've been there exactly 1 week. To my husband, perhaps.
He's been a very considerate employer.
So, you called the police, but of course you wouldn't give them your name. Mr. Carson, I've heard that the police disregard anonymous phone calls. I'm afraid they'll demand a signed statement. Have you signed one?
Not yet.
Why even think about it when there's so many other things? Things so much more rewarding. For example, you could stay here and have a lifetime job with a substantial increase in salary. Or you could leave with $10,000 in your pocket. In cash.
Better not. Thanks, Lou. Oh, drop over to the store one of these days. Pick yourself out a couple of ties.
I got a couple of ties.
Yes?
Oh, this is Angstrom. Look, they're not going to follow up on that phone call, so maybe if you just paid the guy off.
He's not asking for money.
What is he, some kind of crank?
He says he wants justice.
Why doesn't he just come down here and make out a statement?
Do you think he's scared?
No reason for him to be. I checked the local files. He has no record.
Someplace else?
Yeah, maybe. I'll check it out.
I knew you'd think of something.
How many you want?
How many have you got?
Oh, you could be setting out on Christmas. But just put a name on him. I'll pull him out for you.
Don't strain yourself. There's no reward.
Yeah. And what are you working overtime for, huh?
Just doing my job.
I can't imagine what's keeping Mr. Rowland. I'm sure you must be most impatient to see him.
Thank you.
No reason we can't be civilized. Strange. I'm sure I've seen you before. Somewhere.
Maybe here at the store.
No, I despise the store. I hardly ever come here. No, it must have been someplace the other day. In court.
You're very observant.
It's a reflex. One notices a new man in town. We're so insulated here.
I hadn't felt it.
You will. You won't find us at all like New York, Chicago. Could it be San Francisco?
Could be all of them.
A man of many cities. And don't you ever get lonely, unhappy, or lost?
Quite often, it's the human condition, isn't it?
Unless one decides to do something about it.
What do you do about it, Mrs. Rowland?
Wait for a new man to come to town.
Sorry. I'm rather late, aren't I?
Yes, darling, you are.
Yes, well, I had a lot of things I had to think out.
Martin, I took it on myself to open negotiations. So far, he's turned down $10,000.
And what else?
I don't think I like
When
it.
Angstrom told me it was you, I couldn't believe it. I could be so wrong about a man. Blackmail. Shaking me down for a few lousy bucks.
I didn't ask for money.
And what?
Justice, Martin, justice.
I keep thinking that old man might die.
Nonsense. He'll get a prison term.
And I keep telling myself that he didn't do it. What do you tell yourself, Mr. Rowland? Now, you've been driving around. You've had time to think.
If I went to the police...
You what?
It was an accident. That man can prove it for me now. We'll come out of this thing all right.
You'll come out of it all right.
Ginny, you won't be involved.
Won't I? You'll have to tell it all. I'll be the filthy joke of the town. Everyone will be laughing at me.
Oh, and that's more important than Tibbetts, than his life.
You care more about that man than me. After all I've done for you, I've given you position, importance, respect. I've given you this office.
You've given me nothing. The best buy your father ever made was me. I earned that desk. Worked my way up from the bargain basement to floors and apartments. I know the store from the top to the bottom. You tell me how much you've done for me. For one nickel, a trading stamp, I'd swap my place with Carson.
You fool.
Carson! Carson, wait! Listen, I sent Monty down to help you. Has he... What? All right. Never mind.
What did he say?
Well, he wasn't running from us, Mrs. Rowland. I think I found what we've been looking for.
There you are, darling. That's who presumed to sit in judgment of you.
A murderer?
No, I'm not.
A murderer, tried and convicted.
Tibbets is going to be convicted. Sometimes the law goes wrong. Judge, jury evidence, sometimes it's wrong.
You took a chance like this for an old useless drunk? A man you don't even know?
Martin, he's wanted for murder. His word will mean nothing to the police.
And all I had to lose is something I never really owned.
Martin! What are you doing?
This is Martin Rowland speaking. Put me through to the captain.
No! No, you can't! You can't! I won't let you!
Me.
You can't! You stupid fullback!
Captain, Martin Rowland here. Yes, I'd like to make a statement about the Pasco case. You've got the wrong man. Tibbets didn't do it. I did. But it was an accident. Yes. Well, if you'll send a car down for me at the store, I'll meet you out front. All right. Angstrom, you have a pretty good memory, don't you?
Yes?
His name was Carson. He's leaving town. Now you forget about him. I imagine you've learned to move pretty fast, huh?
I've stayed alive.
Take the freight elevator. Go out the alley door.
Thanks.
Let's go.
Martin!
When Martin Rowland accepted imprisonment for his crime, he set himself free from the prison of a guilty conscience and from a woman who had no conscience. Not so fortunate, Richard Kimball, whose imprisonment remains unchanged.